up, guys? It's HMK, and here comes a new theoretical speculation video. Now, have you seen the title below? This is a speculation video on if Hyrule Warriors, the brand new spin-off Zelda game of Dynasty Warriors, Technical Nintendo, if Hyrule Warriors were to be placed in the timeline, where would it be? Now, before you guys get into a rut or whatever, I'm aware, and I said myself that I don't consider this game to be part of the timeline, and I don't expect it to be the timeline, as this is a spin-off, not a main mothership title within the Zelda series. It is a spin-off. Satoru Iwata said that in the Nintendo Direct, so I don't think it's gonna be in the timeline. But if it was, I've done a little bit of research, because that's all I need to do, because all this other knowledge is in my head. I just had to revise and rework some thinkings. But if this were to be in the Zelda timeline, where would it be? Now, a lot of people have said that, oh, this game is gonna take place in the Downfall timeline before A Link to the Past, where, you know, all the forces of evil start attacking Hyrule, and then the sages and the knights have to defend Hyrule in order to imprison Ganon within the evil realm, which is the imprisoning war. Now, I don't think this is the case, because remember, Link the hero was defeated in Ocarina of Time in the Downfall timeline. Now, I don't really think that another hero, as we see Link in Hyrule Warriors, that another hero would arise after that time, during that time between Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, to help fight against Ganon. And of course, you see in the trailer that he has the Master Sword. So why would they need knights and to do the imprisoning war? That would make no sense if we had a hero in that respective timeline before A Link to the Past. So it wouldn't make sense in that sense. But thanks to this bad boy, the Zelda Bible, yeah, and my own knowledge and stuff, but you know, if this shows up weird, because remember, green screen, so there's nothing I can do about that. But thanks to this bad boy, I have theorized and speculated that if this game were to take place in the timeline, it would take place right after Skyward Sword and before Minish Cap. Now, why would I say that? You know, of course I'm not going to say, oh, just because I said so. Of course, there has to be clues and facts hinted at this stuff. First of all, let's take this into account. The enemies, Bokoblins, the Skyward Sword model. Of course, if we're talking about models and stuff, I have to take that in a serious approach. The Bokoblin models are from Skyward Sword. Now, that is a heavy hint that this game could have taken place around that time, or after that time. Of course, this is how I picture it. That after Zelda and Link defeat Demise, they go and establish Hyrule. And all the Bokoblins, all the monsters and demons that are left over are still thriving on the surface. Now, a lot of people said, oh, but the Dodongo models are from Ocarina of Time. Yes, but in Skyward Sword we didn't see Dodongo models at all. I always saw Lizardflow's, you know, breathing fire, which are from Skyward Sword in the same respect. So it could have been, you know, since Ocarina of Time comes right after Skyward Sword, but comes after Skyward Sword in the unified timeline, it could be possible that Dodongos could look like that since Skyward Sword. It's just that you didn't come across any on the surface. So let's take that into account. Now, also before Minish Cap, it states that the first major event to happen since the Kingdom of Hyrule was established, the world was engulfed by evil beings and shrouded in darkness. Now, it states that before Minish Cap, Hyrule was under constant attack of monsters and demons. And shown here in Hyrule Warriors, hundreds and hundreds of Bokoblins are attacking Hyrule, which could have been the leftover forces of, you know, Demise and Girahim. So it makes sense if these were the monsters that they were talking about, that were constantly attacking them. Now, going a little bit further, I also theorized that this Link right here in Hyrule Warriors, if this were to take place in the timeline, this Link may have been the original hero of men. The original hero before the story of the Minish Cap. Now, one thing that doesn't make sense about that is that the hero of men used the Picori Blade and not the Master Sword, because we see Link here using the Master Sword in Hyrule Warriors. Now, it could be possible that at one point in the game that this Link could use the Picori Blade and then upgrade to Master Sword, but since there was no such knowledge of the Master Sword from Skyward Sword until Ocarina of Time, I'm gonna, you know, go ease up on that. Instead, I would theorize that this Link this timeline, this placement could happen before the original story of Minish Cap, before the story of the original Hero of Men, you know, battling these people. So of course these monsters, these Bokobins, Lizaflos, and Dodongos may have not been the same monsters that were sealed inside the bound chest before the events of Minish Cap. Now, of course, with the whole Dynasty Warriors settings and stuff, where it comes with bosses and generals and stuff, it's very possible that Girahim may have survived, or Girahim just, you know, kept living after the battle with Demise and Skyward Sword, and he could be the one leading the army in this game, Hyrule Warriors, that takes place right after the establishment of Hyrule. So it makes a lot of sense, because in the Minish Cap it says, oh, Hyrule was getting bombarded with monsters and demons constantly and stuff, so they had to, you know, defend themselves. After Skyward Sword, they didn't destroy all the demons and monsters, they simply destroyed the master, the king of demons, but all those Bokobins were still, you know, running amok. All the monsters still running amok on the surface, so they had to constantly defend themselves up until Minish Cap, where they sealed all the darkness, all the demons within bound chest, and of course Vati had to go and seal that. Now, if we're taking this approach, that means that Vati and Ganondorf may not be in this game if we are talking about timeline placement, because Vati doesn't appear until Minish Cap and Ganondorf doesn't appear until Ocarina of Time, if this game were to take place after Skyward Sword. But remember, this is all theoretical if this game were to take place in the timeline. Now, I don't think it's going to take place in the timeline. This may be a game that combines all aspects of most Zelda games into one game, where you can see multiple enemies, multiple links. We could see Zant, Girahim, Ganondorf, Vati, Yuga, all those people, you know, band together against Link in its own original story. But this is a, you know, a speculation point if they were to include this into the main timeline, which I think is very unlikely. But if this were to take place in the original time, in the unified timeline or the timeline itself, I will place it right after Skyward Sword and before Minish Cap. So, what do you guys think about this video? Because it's heavy speculating, heavy theorizing, which HMK loves to do. Keep things hectic for the future. So, until next time, I've been HMK. Don't forget to subscribe, like on Facebook and Twitter, and I will check you guys later.